Today I'm talking about the new movie Drive Away Dolls. This was co-written and directed by Ethan Coen, one of the Coen brothers, and co-written by his wife. It stars Margaret Qualley, this lady whose name I can never pronounce but do like in general, Beanie Feldstein. It also has Coleman Domingo, Pedro Pascal, and then I won't say the cameo that happens. And the basic premise is, it is the 1990s and a couple of lesbians just want to get out of town for a bit. So they decide to do this drive-away car delivery service thing, but turns out maybe they weren't supposed to take that car and there's something a little special in there that is going to cause some shenanigans. And then shenanigans ensue. Okay, so what do I like about this movie? I like its style. I think its style is really fun. It's got a great cast. In particular, really liked Margaret Qualley. She really is swinging for the fences with her character choices. I think the idea is fine. It's very Thelma and Louise, though. It's nowhere near as good as that. I had a lot of problems, though, with this movie. I think what it really boils down to is this is really a movie about sex. Like, I can't see anyone arguing that this movie isn't about sex, because there's just so much sex stuff just littered throughout this movie. But it's surprisingly really tame when it comes to the two leads. And that is frustrating, not because I'm like, ooh, I gotta see some boobies. It's because when the characters, spoilers, do finally hook up, what big shock, it's supposed to be this big passionate release, but instead there's two sex scenes, and especially the first one is filmed in a way that it's clear that in the contracts the actors stipulated that they weren't going to show nudity. So like the frame is like right on the clavicle, and it's like, whose perspective are we watching then right now? Because like these two women want to bang each other, and if they're not checking each other out, we're not from the character's perspective, which takes us out of the moment. But then on top of it, it's not just like we got to see nipples in order for this to be a big passionate scene. I think a really good example of not a comedy but a movie relatively similar, Brokeback Mountain, where it's a movie all about these two guys all really into each other, but like they're circling, and then it finally builds to the moment where they do have sex, and it's this huge release, and it's this really passionate moment. You see lots of like hands going over the body, and you have a nice butt shot, and it's like it's so passionate, and there's such a big release. But it's not like the most explicit thing ever, but there's a passion there. It's a huge release. And here it's just nothing. Like they use metaphorical shots to represent how she's feeling in the moment, which kind of works, but it's also like, just show us her enjoying this moment. The second one's a bit more passionate, but at the same time it's still just like nothing. And I'm like, I'm not asking for porn to be in this movie, because again, you can show passion without being explicit. You can show that release of emotion without being graphic. And I feel like that's the issue with the whole movie, is that they want to be about this lesbian sex stuff, but they don't want to come off as male gazy or something like that, so they're being restrained. And because of that, that takes away from, I don't know, the agency of the story. So yeah, I did like the movie. I thought it was fine. I think there's parts of it that definitely worked. It was definitely fun at times, but I just think there's a level of authenticity that's just missing. And now for my ranking, I put this at number 9 in the liked category. This is out of a total of 12 new movies so far this year.